Vikings versus Seahawks.
Danny Green, 9-1 coming out of the bye. The Vikings, 2-7 the last 9 years coming out of the bye. Things have changed.
Yeah.
Well, maybe Mike Zimmer needs to pick up the drums.
Danny Green was a drummer.
Denny Green used to play the drums in the locker room prior to the game and said, we're all one beat. We're all one heart.
That's probably what gave him the coaching advantage, the drumming skills.
Yeah, but it got everybody thinking about the thumping of one heart, one team. We're going out, and it got them jacked up.
You know who Zimmer would remind me of on the drums? Animal from the Muppets. Rah, 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 rah.
Oh, that's funny.
Maybe not go in with the team spirit of the Hall of Notes and maybe have a little Rage Against the Machine Monday night. Maybe the Vikings could come out and play some football from the beginning, go up 14-0, and let Seattle know we came to play today. Thing it'd be like last year.
Horn. The gang is back. We survived a bye week, and we're heading to Seattle, home of rain. That's right, home of rain. I went TDY once there, and we didn't see sunshine until about 2 hours before I left. Anyways, we are rolling. We've been winning. The Vikings offense has been fantastic. We've won some games we should have won, lost a couple we shouldn't have, but we're going into Monday night, prime time, against probably the second best team in the NFC West. Could be the first, with a quarterback that's in the talk for most valuable player. And we'll see how we do. I got the guys with me. I got Drew. I got Ted. And, of course, I got me, Dave. So we'll start this show. How you doing, Drew?
Drew Schembeckler Bunting is doing just fine. Looking forward to this Monday night matchup. It's going to be a premier football out there. Oh, let me say one thing real quick when we start the show here. I hope we're not trailing by 4 points or more at the halftime.
Oh, yes, I saw that stat,
because
too.
Seattle's 55-0, Ted.
What? Say that again? What now?
Seattle Seahawks, when they have 4 points or more ahead at halftime, are 55-0.
Under Pete Carroll or for like ever?
I think it's under Pete Carroll. I don't know. It might be under. I don't know what time frame that is.
Are you kidding me?
I think it's under Pete Carroll.
That's my stat I wanted to throw out to start the show, but
that's an unsettling statistic.
Drew.
Yeah.
Do you know who the winningest coach in prime time is? Active coach?
Winningest active coach in prime time.
Mm-hmm.
Pete Carroll. I don't know.
No, it's Pete Carroll. He's got an .838 win percentage. He's ahead of Bill Belichick.
He's still a gum-chewing son of a bitch, though, punk. Yeah, I like to smack that gum right out of his mouth.
You aren't the only one. How you doing, Ted?
Goddamn midget.
How am I doing?
How are you doing?
Gentlemen?
If I was any better, I'd be against the law. Much like this candle.
All right, start the show. He must be drunk. He's wearing that Ohio State shit again.
Being sober, baby. Relatively.
I'm about to say, there's no rum in there.
I got a Ted stat to start us off.
Let's go.
You know, we talk a lot about our weak-ass pass defense. Did you know the Vikings are fourth in the NFL in passes defense with 62?
As in pass breakups?
Yeah.
Wow.
Really?
Now that's my good stat to start the day. I had to throw that Seattle one in there, but I countered with the Viking good one. See how I did that? had the shit one to start, and then threw that one in there. So
That's a good
we are.
statistic as well.
Kendricks is the number one linebacker in football with 12 passes defense. Highest. He's the highest
Awesome.
rate.
Oh,
That's good to
Kendricks
hear.
is having an all-pro season,
Yeah, he is.
Meow, meow.
without a doubt. Speaking of stats, you talk about pass defense. I've got my handy-dandy Football Outsiders, DVOA, and they break down the defense. And for pass defense, they have us. Oop, wrong one. Let's bring it over here. There's offense. Hey, I was looking at
Take two.
Take two. Looking at the other one. Pass defense, they have us at they have us at number 16 and number 4 against the rush.
Is that the DVOA?
That's the DVOA. Specifically for the defense. That defense overall, they have as 7th.
Well, what I have? I had 15th overall.
No, they have us at 10th overall. Pardon me, it was 7th the week before. We dropped by not playing. But speaking of raising up by not playing, our playoff odds went up.
Yes, they did.
And why is that, Drew?
Because our team fucking rocks?
No, because your local team spanked
Yes, they did.
the heck out of the
That was
Cheeseheads.
a beatdown, wasn't it?
Oh, 37-9? It wasn't even that close either.
37-8. It was a beatdown.
That was nice to see. That was nice to see. That was,
And then seeing all the grumbling about Aaron Rodgers, from Aaron Rodgers, about Aaron Rodgers, about their team, it was wonderful. Makes my week.
we're tied for first now, right?
Yes, we are.
Yeah, they've got the tiebreaker. But yeah. Somebody, I think it was the Daily Norseman account run by Christopher Gates Esquire that said something to the effect that if Kirk Cousins had put out a line like Aaron Rodgers did, and he had 104 yards passing,
Right.
and 11 whatever completion. I didn't see the whole game after San Francisco went up 30-8. I tapped out. But if Cousins had put up that line, and the Vikings had lost that game that way, people would be ready to throw Kirk Cousins into the waters of Lake Minnetonka and not purify him, but drown him.
Sure. Yeah.
And I couldn't agree more. I look. I get Rodgers has earned more credibility. He's won a Super Bowl and all that stuff, but I'm kind of starting to see the over the top. I don't want to say disrespect, just overall dislike for Cousins and how people are so quick to point out any weakness in his game. And I think, Seattle, this is going to be a big test for not only Cousins, but for the entire team. Seattle's a tough place to play. They've got a really good team, and this is a big time. But I think it's time to start giving the Vikings a little bit of credit. I'm still not in with both feet. I want to see how this Seattle game goes, but I think the Vikings deserve a little bit more respect than they've gotten up to this point in the season. But that's just me.
Well, we should see. They would have it if they would have won. There's 2 games, actually 3, they should have won. The latest one was against Kansas City, which they should have played better and won. There's, of course, the Chicago debacle, which infuriates all of us. And they could have won if they would have come out on fire against Green Bay. Winning either of those would have put them in sole possession of first place, and everything would be looking a lot brighter. It's miscues like those that seed doubt. And that seeded doubt sticks until it's overwhelmingly debunked. And as of right now, it's not. That's where you get the hardcore looking at Kirk Cousins. And did he throw over 10 yards? No. He's throwing nothing but 2-yard passes. Whoop. Right? When he's good Kirk versus bad Kirk, it's when he's throwing over 10 yards and he's looking for Diggs and he's looking for Thielen. right? Or Irv Smith, or even Rudolph, wide open. I mean, all those things go into good Kirk. He's been doing that lately. It's been a whole philosophical change from Kubfansky, and I think Stefanski's calling a great games lately, for the most part, except for Kansas City, on the way down. And I don't know what it is, but something's got into it. I saw a deal earlier in the week or early last week that how Kirk Cousins is dealing with the criticism this year. And he's basically blowing it off. And he says, man, I've got best life. I'm living the life. I'm doing what I love. And he's blowing it off, and he's playing like that. And that, if that continues, and they build up confidence like they did last week in that, or 2 weeks ago, in that massive come-from-behind win, these guys can go to Miami, as you say, Ted.
Of those 3 losses, the only one where the Vikings, I think, got thoroughly outplayed and had zero chance of winning was Chicago. They could have won the Chiefs game. They could have won the Packers game. And that's and now the way Chicago has come out and played the rest of the season, that just irritates me because Chicago just kind of stinks. And on paper they should have beat the Bears, but they could have played 9 quarters. They would have beaten Chicago. They just wouldn't have. That's the only game I'm just kind of whatever. Anyways, but yeah, whatever.
They're clunker.
Well, hopefully that's exactly what it is, and they get it out of their system. So. You got any stats for us, Drew?
Well, I want to say a couple things about Kirk Cousins. Back the first month, basically everything about Kirk Cousins, everybody wants to pile on. They piled on after that Bears game, yada, all social media, the shit on the groups I was seeing,
And we were all hard on him. Every one of us on this show was.
Sure.
And I think it was deserved criticism.
But the cool thing to me is Kirk Cousins did nothing. He just kept playing. He didn't come out and go all, Odell Beckham and get all weird in the social media. He just shut his mouth and did his job. And the fact that he's made this transition and he's on fire playing really well, the thing I like about it, he's having the same reaction. He's not coming out and gloating about it. That's the thing I like about Kirk Cousins. He didn't say shit when everybody was ripping him. And he probably wants to say shit now, but he's not saying anything. He's being focused. He's playing better. He knows it, but he's not out here saying, I told you so. And that's a good sign in terms of leadership for the other guys on the team. I have a feeling they're starting to get behind Kirk Cousins like they were behind Keenum or maybe Teddy. Maybe they're becoming more he's becoming a better teammate, I think. And here's proof of it. Did you know Kirk Cousins is 16 passes away from tying Warren Moon's record for most passes without an interception?
Are you kidding me?
He has 177 passes without an interception. The record is set by Warren Moon, 1993 or 1995, was it? Yeah, 1995. 193 passes without a pick. Cousins is at 177 right now. He's 16 short of that. Do you hear about that?
No.
No, you hear about my buddy Dave ripping on him for being 23 or 26. So he doesn't even get the credit. Kirk Cousins is one of those guys that easily gets ripped on, but then when he does good shit, everybody just kind of shrugs their shoulders and go, well, that's what he's supposed to do. It's really a kind of an unfair thing. And I was one of the guys who was piling on him at the beginning of the year. But my respect for Kirk Cousins has gone up a lot in the last 2 months.
Yeah, mine too.
I just wanted to put that out there because that's an important part of this team. Now, going into Seattle, he had a terrible game last year. The Vikings had a terrible game last year. Zimmer's got to learn from it. We've had 13 days to prepare for it. You can't go into a game and get across the 50-yard line for the first time at the end of the third quarter and expect to win a game, which is what we did last year.
Yep.
We didn't cross the 50-yard line until 4 minutes left in the third quarter. The Vikings didn't get on the scoreboard until 1:10 left in the game is when they finally scored.
And that was like terrible. That was like a complete garbage touchdown, like the Cook touchdown against the Bears was earlier this year. I mean, the game was by that point.
It was the defense kept him in the game. The game should have been a lot more lopsided than it was. Russell Wilson had his worst game statistically last year against the Vikings, but they ran the ball for over 200 yards. They They took advantage of all of our mistakes, but the once again, the Vikings motto is before you beat the good teams, you got to figure out how to not lose games. So
yeah, I agree.
They
Absolutely,
had-
100% agree.
I mean, we were down 6 points in the third quarter in that game. We had 1 first down. So the Vikings, it's all right in front of them. Now we'll get to the numbers. Now they have my little soliloquy.
Well, I got a question
Hail
for
to
you.
the victors. Okay.
Last year, we went to Seattle and play,
Yes.
right? And we lost.
We
This
laid a
year-
big dung heap.
This year, we're going to Seattle to play. Why are we going to Seattle 2 years in a row? Why aren't they coming to us?
It's just how the schedule. There's no conspiracy.
Dave.
It's no conspiracy. It's just the way the schedule plays
I
out.
know. I was being a smartass.
Oh.
Now,
Sometimes it works out like that. It's worked out in the Vikings' favor where we played people 2 years in a row.
Yeah, we had the Giants at our place, I think, 3 or 4 times in a row, for example. Back when they were
I'm
fairly
aware,
decent.
but it's just one of those things that popped up to me. Also, this game, does it give you guys the feeling of, say, half a playoff game, a quasi-playoff game, where you've got two of the best teams in the NFC battling? Who's going to be, right now, they're 5 and 6. Seattle's number 5 on the seeding for first wild card. We're number 6 for the second wild card spot. Whoever wins obviously leapfrogs the other one, goes ahead of the other one, or stays ahead in case of Seattle. But it also increases their chances to win their division. Because as we talked about during the week, even though San Francisco spanked Green Bay, they have a brutal schedule coming up. So this has sort of a feel. It's got playoff implications, but does it feel sort of a playoff game where people are knowing that they've got to come in and perform? This isn't one of those freebies. Do you guys feel that?
Go ahead,
Yeah.
Drew.
I feel that you're exactly. I think this is a playoff game. I think this is the biggest game the NFL has to offer, not only this week, but maybe this year. 2 teams, 5th and 6th in the playoff run. You got 2 quarterbacks who are playing at an extremely high level, 2 really good play action quarterbacks, which adds more excitement into the game. You got Wagner, you got Eric Kendricks, you got Dalvin Cook. Seattle is no slouch with their running game with Penny and Carson. You got 12th man, if you want to take it up there, Vikings on the road. You got Diggs, you got Metcalf, and you got look at all the stars. This is star power with 2 teams that really need this game. So yes, I would have to agree with what you just said, David. I am full agreement with the playoff field, the playoff.
I go back and forth. It's a great question, Dave. It's a huge measuring stick for the Vikings, so in that regard, yes, because we'll be able to see how the Vikings measure up against one of the more elite teams of the NFC.
One that's undoubtedly going to the playoffs.
And that's a team that is also playoff bound. That is true. So in that regard, yes. In another way, kind of, sort of no, because with the Rams just fading fast, the Panthers fading fast, I'm not saying the Vikings are locked into the playoffs, but they have a fairly spot of at least a 6 seed. That said, I don't, I've said this before. I don't think it's hard for any team to go on the road 3 times in the postseason, win those games, and then win the Super Bowl. So in another I'm kind of flipping back and forth. So it's a massively important game because if they win, they leapfrog Seattle, and they'll probably keep pace with Green Bay, who I think plays either the Giants or the Redskins. So they're more than likely going to win that game. So it's vitally important in that regard, in the hopes of them winning the division. And if nothing else, if they can't get a bye, they can at least get a home playoff game as the number 3 seed. So in some respects, I think it is, and in some respects, no. But it's a massively important game for the Vikings this week. Yes, I will agree with that.
Don't you feel like this if the Vikings go to Seattle and win this game Monday night, doesn't it feel like, to me at least, feels like we kind of clinch a playoff spot? with the remaining teams on our schedule, we're at home for the majority of the schedule. I think maybe 2 or maybe 3 of the final games. This feels like if we get this one locked in, we're looking really good at the postseason.
Yeah. Yeah, they've got like over a 90% shot now. I think it goes to like 98 or 99% if they beat Green Bay or beat Seattle.
Football Outsiders right now has us at a 95.7% to make the playoffs. They have us to win the division at 49.1%. They still have Green Bay ahead of us on the division because they own the tiebreaker. So, and they have us at 46.6 for the wild card. But if we don't get the division. So they're split. We're more favored for the division than we are the wild card at this moment.
So
if they win Monday, that'll shoot up big time.
What team shows up, guys? The team we saw in Seattle last week, the team we saw not only there last year on Monday night, but the team against the Broncos. I mean, what are we in store for this? I mean,
I have a theory.
Oh, here we go. Oh, wait, is it the long pass completion theory?
No, well, actually, that one does work. But hey, watch for it. It does work. It works golden. No, I read this week there was a story that Courtney did.
who?
Courtney.
Courtney Cronin, ESPN
Cronin,
Vikings
on
beat
ESPN.
reporter. Best one on the beat for the Vikings as far as I'm concerned.
Yes, she rules.
Did a story on Everson Griffin, right? And how well he's playing this season. And how the Vikings have supported mental health of the team. And in the story, there was a unique paragraph that says they now have 3 mental health specialists that work for the team. They have a typical psychiatrist, a sports psychologist or sports psychiatrist or psychologist, and another one that works with the team. And I'm wondering, with this being the first year that they have these guys there and available to the team, who from the team is taking advantage of that, including from Zimmer on down, right? And if that is making a difference, because we see a difference in Kirk Cousins. We see a difference in some of the plays since the beginning of the season when Diggs was not very happy to afterwards. If they do a group or they do a one-on-one or whatever. But it looks like the team is dealing with a lot of these emotional issues that comes with playing football a lot better. And I'm wondering if that helps going into Monday night under the lights in front of the nation, because they're the only team or only 2 teams playing. Everybody else is watching.
Can I ask a question?
Sure.
Did you guys ever see the movie The Natural with Robert Redford?
Yeah.
Yes.
Do you remember
A long time ago.
when they brought a sports psychologist in? Losing is a disease. Ever much? Anyways, the guy had a little straw hat and a bow tie.
Yes.
Anyway, so I for whatever reason, I thought of that scene when you were talking about sports psychiatrists and psychologists. I think mental health is just as important as physical health.
Oh, I do. Especially when it comes to getting up for games and playing games.
You beat Seattle. You don't jump off sides. You don't make bonehead plays. You tackle.
You come out hot.
You have a good game plan. I mean, you could read everything you want into it.
Yeah.
I don't know. It's you got to play football. That's what it comes down to.
I was going to say, but that said, does a sports psychiatrist cause a delay of game penalty? Does a sports psychiatrist cause Xavier Rhodes to get turned around, like a merry-go-round 4 times on a deep route? Whatever edge the Vikings feel they need, go for it. I mean, it's Willis money. He's sunk a ton of it into this organization with the new facilities. And is that the reason? Look, man, if If that's what they think is helping, then it's helping. I'm a firm believer. If you think something helps, then it's helping. If you think something sucks, then it probably sucks. So, yeah, go for it.
Drew, let's get back to the numbers.
All right, let's get to the numbers. The numbers actually highlight the ones that stand out to me. And offensively, both teams are pretty equal. They're pretty up there with the numbers. You know what really stood out to me, guys? The Seattle pass defense is 29th. That I did not know that. Seattle defense is 23rd overall, 29th against the pass. There's only 32 teams last time I checked. And they're the 21st. Your scoring defense gives up 24 points a game. The other area I saw is they don't get a lot of quarterback sacks. They only have 23 on the year. So between them being on the lower end of the sack totals and 29th in pass defense, the Vikings should maybe go to the air in this baby. The Seattle relies a lot, again, on turnovers. Every year they're one of the top 5 teams in turnovers, and it didn't change this year. They're 4th in turnovers. They got a +9, 14 fumble recoveries.
Is it working? Or still froze?
No, you're working now.
Okay.
So,
It just froze at that point. When you were talking about where they're 4th in turnover production, and then it froze.
They're a +9. We're a +4. So we're both on the plus end of the turnovers, which is, you can only ask to be on the plus side in an NFL. It's an NFL team. But the fact that they're 29th in pass defense, I'd like to see the Vikings come out throwing the ball, maybe even go no huddle or up tempo a little bit. They should have at least learned last year when they were going 3 and out, 3 and out, 3 and out, 3 and out, and they weren't generating anything. That you can't let the Seattle crowd get into it, Ted Glover. You can't let them get rolling.
I would be okay with them to coming out running their regular offense, but if they don't get anything going after like the first 2 drives, I would hop into the no huddle then and just try and get something going, because you're right. Especially if Seattle gets points, if you see yourself down 7-0 or 10-0 in the first quarter and things aren't going right on offense, and we've got another one of those slow starts that just frustrates all 3 of us, the Vikings are going to have to do something to change it up. And I would be all about going into the no huddle 3rd drive, still in the first quarter, whatever the case may be. Yeah, absolutely.
The last number, I'll throw it out, and I send it back to Dave, is the Vikings are 4th in the red zone this year in the NFL. Red zone, really? 39 trips, 26 touchdowns for a 66%. So
good.
Communication satellites are experiencing a solar storm.
I don't know if you guys can see me, but you guys froze again.
Your video will resume shortly.
What the heck?
Through with some wild drive at the end where Russell Wilson scrambles around and throws a 50-yard pass, and it just something crazy happens in Seattle. But you have to take the crowd out of it, and then you have to figure out a way to contain Wilson, and you certainly have to figure out a way to contain their running game, because last year they had like 250 on us on the ground. So being that Zimmer went through this last year, it's all got to be fresh in his mind. We went up there and got our tits licked at that place. That wasn't even a game. So
and he's coming out of the bye. There's no excuse not to start out slow.
No excuse.
2 weeks to prepare. Keys in this is going to be whether or not Adam Thielen plays. He looked like he was on track to play. Now, I saw a couple reports today. He was either limited in practice or didn't practice, and that would be limited. What's that?
He was limited in practice. He came out, but he didn't have his helmet on.
Okay. Yeah,
he was doing some of the exercises and running and stuff like that.
Get him on the drum kit. Come on.
I hope he's okay and he's healthy and he's good to go, because
there was also a tweet that said they had a scare with his hammy yesterday.
See, I think this is going to be a thing also.
If he pops his hamstring in this game again, if he catches it.
Yeah. I mean, I think
he's done for the rest of this regular season.
I think the key to the Vikings coming out of there with a win in Seattle is whether or not Thielen's healthy, and if he's healthy, he can go, and he can go. Please go. If he can't, or if he goes and he hurts his hamstring again, I hate hamstrings. I just hate them. I just think they linger. Cooks lasted like 4 or 5 weeks last year. The reports where he was limited. I don't know, man. I hope he's okay and he can play, because he's a big part of the Vikings' success, especially down in the red zone.
What's your on a scale of 1 to 10? How confident are you if Thielen does not go? How confident are you we can pull a win out there? I mean, do you think he's that critical? I mean, I know he's a big part of the offense. But.
I mean, 2 weeks ago I would have been, or 3 weeks ago I'd have been like 2 or 3. But Kyle Rudolph has come on. Irv Smith has really stepped up and had some big moments. I'm up to maybe a 5 or 6 if he doesn't play. I'll feel a lot better if he can play.
I will too, but I agree. It's not as worrisome. I think if he does, the offense gets even that much more dynamic. But I think we're dynamic enough with those guys to win. And this week the Vikings think so too when they released Josh Doxson. We're down to 4 wide receivers on the
I think they released him on the thinking that Thielen is going to play. Now if he's retweaked his hamstring again, now the Vikings only got 3 receivers.
Yeah, but I think they're considering Irv Smith. They're starting to stick him out in the slot, and we know Dalvin Cook can play in the slot or anywhere out there, that they're good. And Zimmer in his press conference was asked about it today, and he says, no, I think we're good.
You still got to have 4 wide receivers on the roster.
You would think, yes.
I mean, even Adam Thielen is such a great player that even if you have him on a pitch count or a snap count and you have him in the game, he at least draws attention over there. So you can go to B.C. Johnson or you can go to Diggs. He'll draw attention. If Thielen is lined up, Seattle's worried about him.
Right.
You can just have him in there as a decoy for half his snaps or – I mean, I don't agree with putting him out there even if he's 98% healthy. He has to be 100% healthy to even come back from a hamstring because it lingers so bad. But, if he's good to play, then he's got to get out there and do it.
Now, other injuries, we look today. The official injury report won't come out till tomorrow because it's a Monday game, the first one. But looking at the reports today, we have Linval Joseph was back. Josh Klein was back.
Big goon back.
Cool. Which means Josh has passed his concussion protocol. Speaking of concussions, Ben Gideon was not back and not playing, so he obviously hasn't passed that yet. Thielen was out there, and I'm trying to remember if any other starters that were out. I think that's about it. Oh,
what about Seattle?
Harrison Smith was out working. I don't think he was full. Same with right next to him. So we'll see. And Seattle, I saw they're hoping there was their defensive tackle. They were hoping that has an ankle issue. They were hoping that was back, but they're not sure. So. And I'll look that up and I'll put that in the Chiron as it scrolls across as you watch the video.
It's going to be a tough game. It's going to be tough to pull that one.
Yep.
We'll see.
This is the game that could catapult that.
If they lose, conversely, I think they're a 6 seed and they go 1 and done.
Wow, those are spicy hot takes, Mr. Glover.
Too bad I wasn't recording it.
Say it. Wait. Just say it one time. Easy win. Say it.
No.
I just need it once.
No, I will not. Easy win for Wisconsin. That'll jinx them. I think it's going to be a great, simple, easy win for Wisconsin just to jinx that. There we go. Beat the Axe.
Fucking Badgers. We don't need no stinking Badgers.
Hey, better dead than red, baby.
So, let me ask you real quick before we get to the trivia. Who's third in sacks on the Vikings? I'll give you each a guess. You know who's 1 and 2.
Yeah, that's Griffin and Hunter.
Hunter
and Griffin. Hunter 1, Griffin 2. They both are 1 and 2 in the league for pressures.
Who's 3? 2 guys are tied for 3. There's 2 names.
How many do they have? Can you give us a number?
The Vikings have 31 sacks.
I'm going to go.
Odenigbo?
Bam! Dave Stefano.
I was going to go. I was going to say Weatherly, but okay. That'll work.
Odenigbo has 3. Big Goon has 3. Those are the next 2 on the list. I saw that looking at because Vikings have 31 sacks and allowed 22. The Seahawks are the opposite. They only have 23 sacks and they've allowed 33.
Really?
So yeah, if the Vikings can get home on the defensive line and keep Wilson from that containment off the edge. I mean, he likes to step up and then go lateral. If the defense, if Jaleel Johnson and those guys can pressure him back towards Hunter. Dave and I talked about this on the phone. Wilson steps up, but if you get center pressure, interior pressure, he goes backwards right into the arms of Griffin and Hunter. That's what I'm hoping to see, because you can't get him on that initial curl.
Right.
No, you can't. If he gets to the outside, it's over with.
And then he runs backwards. He has a tendency to take off backwards, and he runs right into people. So I'm kind of hoping for that. All right, you want to do some trivia?
It is time. Drew, have you got the trivia?
Yeah! Both answer. You know the rules. You got a possible 46 this week. And we do have trivia. And I love my graphic. Thank you for making that. Ted's record, your guys' both record is 34. Let's see if we can beat it.
All right.
The Vikings and the Seahawks have played 16 times. How many of the Vikings won? You have to get.
They've only won like 5. Seattle.
That's exactly right. For a point. Good job. Sorry. I'm not ready here. Okay. Okay.
That makes
Number
sense.
2. We're going to call this the first and last trivia. We're talking about the first time we beat Seattle and the last time we beat them, which was 10 years ago. We're 0-6. The last time we played them.
Regular season in play.
Russell Wilson's never lost to Minnesota. You believe that shit?
I can, actually, yeah.
Let's go back to the first time we played them. They were an expansion team, 1976. They came into Bloomington, Minnesota at the Met. The Vikings were 7-1-1 at the time.
Yep.
And they won the game 27-21.
21. Yeah, they did.
And from you guys are the 2 head coaches to begin with.
That would be Jack Patera and Bud Grant.
That's that right there. That's decent. Yes, sir. And I need the starting quarterbacks.
Jim Zorn and Francis Tarkington.
Oh, jeez. Light the candle, brother. Jimmy Zorn from Poly San Luis Obispo. Now, there's 6 running backs who played in this game. 3 for the Vikings, 3 for the Seahawks. You get a point for everyone you can name.
Okay, for the Vikings, it would be Chuck Foreman, Brett McClanahan. Sammy Johnson?
No.
Osborne?
No. Osborne was gone by then. It was, the last Viking guy was Robert Miller, but you got 2 of them.
Robert Miller.
Do you know any of the Seahawks? This is a real.
No, I remember that game, but I don't. And I remember Jim Zorn because he damn near pulled off a huge upset. But I can't remember much
Dave, you got any Seahawk running backs for me?
No. I didn't study for this one.
Sherman Smith, Hugh McInnes, and the great Don Testerman.
What a terrible team.
Now, there was one wide receiver who caught a touchdown pass in this game for the Seahawks who was on the Vikings the year before in 1975. He was a Viking, and then he became a Seahawk, and then he caught a touchdown in this game. Can you name him?
Was it Jim Lash?
No. Great guess, though. Great guess. It was Sam McCullum.
Sam McCullum. Okay.
So you ended up with a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 on that section. That gives you 7 answers. Next, we're moving on to, that was the first time. Now, the last time we won was 2009. Serious beatdown.
Yep.
Serious beatdown. Vikings won 35-9 at home. 4 different Vikings scored that day. 3 wide receivers and a tight end. You get a point for everyone you can name.
Shanko was the tight end. Sidney Rice was one of the wide receivers. Bernard Berrien.
Damn, dude. Woo!
And Percy Harvin.
Bring out the broom. That's a sweep. Get the broom out. Ted Glover is sweeping, just like Shea Patterson sweeping around the edge.
And going to get met by Chase Young for a 6-yard loss.
You got 4 on that one. Beautiful, dude. Who are the quarterbacks in that day? Each team played 2 quarterbacks, so there's 4 total.
That's right. Tavares Jackson did the mop-up duty, but Favre started.
That's right.
God, who played for Seattle that day? 2009. Matt Hasselbeck?
Yeah! That's sweet, dude. Old Matty Hasselbeck.
I can't. I have no idea who released him.
Hasselbeck, we're gonna win. Remember that shit? No,
We're going to take the ball. We're going to score. And he throws a pick six to Al Harris.
The other quarterback, Dave, you got to guess?
No.
The other quarterback was the great Seneca Wallace.
Yes.
He was a great college quarterback.
Yes, for Kansas State.
Iowa State.
Huh?
He was Iowa State.
Was he Iowa State?
Yeah, Iowa
That's what I
State.
meant.
He was a great
Kansas,
quarterback.
Iowa, they look the same. And we froze again. There we go. Now we're back.
Both head coaches for that game.
In 09?
Yeah.
Brad
was
Childress.
it Chili for the Vikings? And then
Correct. Childress was the Vikings coach.
I don't think Carroll. It would have been Holmgren back then, wasn't it?
Oh. No. Playoff. It was Jim Mora Jr.
Jim Moore Jr. All right.
Jim Mora Jr. Playoffs? You talk playoffs?
So,
Talking about playoffs?
what was your bonus question?
Bonus question. 10-point bonus if you can name 2 of the 3 starting Viking linebackers for that game.
I believe I've got all 3. It'd be E.J. Henderson, Chad
Bam.
Greenway, and Ben Lieber.
Oh, my God, dude. Ding, 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 ding. That is a 10-point slot right there.
You want the 3 for the 76 game?
If you get that, I'll give you another 5.
Jeff Seaman, Wally Hilgenberg, and I bet the other guy was Matt Blair.
Oh, my God. That's true. That's correct.
Is it really?
That is correct. Wait. Did you say Fred McNeil?
No, I said Matt Blair.
I think it was. I'd have to look to verify.
It might have been Fred McNeil. Yeah, you very well could have been Fred McNeil.
I'll hold off on that 5. I was going to give you 5 for that. So this page, you got 10, 14, 18 points on this page. You're creeping up. Okay. So here we go. You get a point for every player you can name. I made a little list here, and I imagine there's more, but I listed 7 that I could remember off the top of my head who played for both the Seahawks and the Vikings.
Carl Eller. So we got Percy Harvin, John Randall, Steve Hutchinson, Carl Eller.
Pissed me off seeing Carl Eller in a fucking Seahawks.
Sam McCollum.
Yes, that was another one. That's another
Reaching
one.
back on that one. Bob Lertzema.
Yeah. Yes. And then the guy that we traded to get for the Lertzema trade, in the Lertzema trade.
The best guards we have. Hutchinson.
No, you already named
I
him.
said Steve Hutchinson.
Okay.
We traded Lertzema to the Seahawks. And then who do we get in return? We got a 4th-round pick plus this player.
I can't remember.
Was it Mike Tice?
No.
Did
Mike Tice did play for both.
Yeah? Yes, he did. That's an extra one. I'll mark it down. So
That's 7, I think.
that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. But I still have 2 on my list. So you guys came up with a couple extra ones. That's good.
Who was the guy?
That shows
Who was
you
the guy
really
they traded for?
Huh?
In the trade with
Ahmad Rashad.
Really?
Ahmad Rashad came from Seattle in that trade.
Yeah, he really. I thought he came from Buffalo. Okay.
That's what I thought too, but I took this off the Daily Norseman, so
No.
it's wrong. It's them.
And the Daily Norseman can't be wrong.
Well, that's what it said on that site. I mean,
That's all I got.
I thought it was Buffalo. I thought he went from Buffalo to the Vikings, but the last one I had was Tavares Jackson.
Oh, duh.
So you got another 7 on that. So before we get to the last question, let me do a quick recap to see how many points you got. You got 7, 18, 25, and 7 is 32. You're 2 away from your record, which I think you're going to get it because the last one is Ring of Honor for Seattle people. Now, there's 11 people in the Ring of Honor. I'm going to tell you this. There's 10 players and only 1 coach. So that might the 10 players and 1 coach. So you get a point for everyone you can name.
Steve Largent.
Correct.
Jim Zorn.
Correct.
Sean Alexander.
Incorrect. You get two
Not
multiples.
Brian Bosworth.
No.
Not the king, though.
Coach would be Chuck Knox.
Yes, that gives you your new record of 35. Not
who was
the only coach, yeah.
um?
Is not an answer.
Shut up.
That was my Judge Judy moment.
The tackle.
There's a bunch of big names in here. Come on, Ted Glover.
I know, and they're all
You
escaping.
know these. UCLA safety. Come on, man. The greatest safety UCLA ever had. The guy was like a machine back there.
I'm gonna be so mad when you start rattling off these names that I can't think of.
Come on,
Kurt
Dan.
Warner, running back Kurt Warner.
Yes.
That was one name I was thinking of.
You got 4 of the 11.
Cortez Kennedy.
Yes.
That was the name I was thinking of.
Damn, what a player Cortez Kennedy was.
He was really good.
Yeah. You got 5 out of 11. You're almost 50%.
Kenny Easley.
There you go.
That's the safety. That's the safety. Good job, Dave.
Excellent job. That guy was tremendous. I wish he would have been a
Sean
Viking.
Alexander isn't on there, huh? Okay. That's about all I can come up with, I think.
That's it for me.
Hey, you got 32. 38. That's your new record, I think.
All right.
That's
Who are the
guys that were on there were Dave Brown, safety.
Okay.
Jacob Green, the great Jacob Green, number 79, the defensive tackle.
Yeah.
Pete Gross, who's I've never heard of. Walter Jones, the great left tackle.
Walter
Yes.
Jones. That was the other guy. That was the guy that just retired just a few years ago.
And how could we all forget Davey Craig? He's in there.
Is he really?
The guy that had most fumbles in NFL history is Dave Craig is in the Ring of Honor. They have 11 in there. They got a lot that are still going to probably be on there, including Sean Alexander. But excellent. You got 38 points on that Viking Seahawks trivia, and every week, you guys amaze me, man.
Good questions. Good
I
questions.
wouldn't have got half of those. Your football knowledge is tremendous.
So, as we roll into this game on Monday night,
Spicy hot take?
do you have any? Drew?
Were we going to guess, like, who gets the game ball or spicy hot take?
Spicy hot
I have
take?
a spicy hot take. I think, no, I don't really. I just want to win.
All right, I got one.
Ted, give me a spicy. I don't have any.
If the Vikings beat Seattle on Monday, they will have a home playoff game and they're going to win the division.
I like that one.
I'm not saying they're going to have a home field advantage.
Yeah.
I'm not even saying they're going to get a bye, but they will at least have a home field advantage. They will at least have a home playoff game because they're going to win the division.
That's it.
If they lose, they will be the number 6 seed.
Mm-hmm.
That's how big this game is to me, I think.
Drew, you got your last words?
Meow, meow, Viking cow. And when we see each other, it'll be on the flip-flop later.
Ted?
Super Bowl homeboy. We'll see you in Miami, and I hope everybody had, since he wants to see the season afterwards, hope everybody had a very wonderful Thanksgiving.
Are you the guy that eats baked beans on Thanksgiving? Was that
Oh,
you?
yeah.
Oh, okay.
Skull Vikings! Let's win this game!
See you later.
Later, dude!